Okay, we started doing some fiberglass work. I left some of the support on the hood when I cut it off so I could have something to bind in and get some rigidity. I ended up running a bolt through here to get that to pull in, so at least there's more rigidity through the bolt, not just fiberglass. And then I had multiple bolts here, here, down the front. And I cut the heads off and welded them smooth, so the sides are still bolted on the fiberglass. Luckily, this thing just had a perfect lip here at the right angle to hold the inner fender well, which happened to be right on the edge of the curve. Why that is, I don't know, but it was perfect. Then I bolted in the front of the hood here, and I'll probably hammer these in and weld them to get a lot of rigidity throughout the mass of the hood, so when you open it and close it, it doesn't crack out, which I think will be good. Here's without fiberglass. See, you can see there's a gap here and a gap here, but once you glass over it, it seems like this brings some rigidity in here. Like I said, I put a bolt here, cut it off, welded along there to get this thing so it's got nice strength left and right, so it ain't wobbly, and so when it closes, it sits down in there nice. Ended up getting body filler on these. This turned out way better than I would have expected, and these are really rigid. So there's the glass on the back side. This has got like 3 or 4 layers. It's mighty thick, so that should not have any issues cracking. And I put them back on the machine and they did fit nice. So flattens out to about smooth, and it's got a nice curve here, which rolls into the curve on the back side of the hood. So all around that, I worked out pretty slick. This is just fiberglass body filler. So it's a little bit stronger, so I'll sand that off and then just hit it with normal lightweight body filler to get it nice and smooth throughout the whole thing. So that worked out nice. I mean, I can't really complain for what I'm trying to do. It'll be nice. So got the fiberglass on here too. This turned out really good. Just glassed over the opening, like 4 layers. I just wanted to get some, I could have like cut this so it was all like flush, but I kind of like having a little bit of this shape just to give it some character, to look like it's not just, I don't know, just looks better, I think. Looks more appropriate. So yeah, that turned out good, plenty thick. So all I have to do is fiberglass body filler all this and all this. Finish up the glass on that side. I got 2 coats of here. We'll probably end up grinding it and throw a 3rd and a 4th on it so it's nice and rigid. So that's how this is going. I mixed the second go back around pretty hot, so it started to harden up pretty good quick, and I think this one was hot too, because this is like, it hasn't even been 10 minutes and it's already getting sticky, so that's good. And it's a lot warmer out today than it was the other, so I don't like how it's got a big air gap in here from the plastic to the steel, but it's just the way it's trimmed, so we'll have to put a couple layers in there to make sure it's really gonna adhere like it's supposed to. But just having the bolt in there will be quite a bit too, so body filler on the back, and I think it'll be plenty fine. All right, I've been gone for a while. All the fiberglass is set up. Looks a lot better set up. I'm gonna grind it down, maybe put another coat on it. I also use some 3M panel bond, it's called, for the seam before I body fill it. This stuff's super tough, but it takes like 4 hours to set and 24 hours before you can work it. So I figured just another chance for this thing to be super solid, because the last thing I want is a stress crack down it from bouncing around on the rough terrain. So that 3M panel bond, it's some pretty good stuff, but she's tacky yet. So I think this thing's gonna be super solid after all that. All right, I'm taking a break on the body work to get these hubs sorted out. I got the final drive taken apart or cleaned up, and honestly, the thing looks like brand new. No sharp edges on any of the planetary drive gears. The bearings, I mean, there's not pitted or nothing. This thing was awfully dirty though. It was totally caked in old grease and dirt and nasty shit. But there's the drum that the planetaries ride in. Overall, it's honestly in like pristine shape. No sharp edges on the gear teeth. Nothing. It all looked super good. I'm really surprised how clean this came up. I thought this was rusty, but it was just the color yellow. So that all looks good. I got the drive gear here, just soaking some degreaser on it. The races even look nice and smooth. That's just dirt, but they are nice. Got it on this motorcycle jack because I can't pick the damn thing up, and to slide it on the shaft, this will be the best way because you'll nick the threads. I'll have to pull one of these covers off and show you. The threads are pretty easy to nick. Let's see here. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Have to get all that off. Oh, I don't have them taped. Never mind, you ain't gonna see them. Anyways, there's just threads onto the spline, so they just start on the spline, so it'd be super easy to nick them. So definitely don't want to do that. That's why I have it taped up so good, because I didn't want to brush something against it and screw them up. Because I've done that once before, and you'll never do it again afterwards. So yeah, well, this will be fun to get off, but whatever. So that's what I'm working on. I'm gonna get these hubs on today, sealed up, and get oil in the diff. And the drive shaft is done, but I don't think I'm going to dilute to pick it up. So driveline specialties got her dialed in for me. This is what I was talking about. There's only like 3 legit threads that hold the locking nut on to hold the bearings on, which I think is a little ridiculous. And they start in the groove or in the splines, but I'm gonna test fit this wheel seal and see how it fits, which I think it fits good. Yeah, it fits nice. And it already fits the hub. I tried that, so that's gonna be good. There's a groove worn in the sealing surface, of course, like they always are right here. But I just run a little RTV around it, around this whole thing nice and tight, and then slip it on. I've never had any issues, so looks like we're gonna be in business there. This is the lock collar that holds the bearing intact, or bearing tension on them. But you just put it in with a punch and a hammer, and then there's a lock. So that's how that works. I just wanted to test, make sure I didn't bung the threads at all. So when I go to put it together, it goes together nicely. Let's see here. So yeah, that's how that works. It's against the bearing. But yeah, nice big lock collar. Pretty primitive, pretty basic. So I soaked the bearing, pounded in the wheel seal. That all looks good. And then I ran a little bit of RTV because there was a groove in there from the seal wear. And then I pounded the seal in just a little bit further to hopefully I can catch it so it's on the inside of the groove. Because I did preset the bearing and look at it, and it looks like I can get it so it sets right on the inside of the groove, but that's the only thing you can do besides really just put a new hub on or a new spindle, but that ain't gonna happen. So this is our best shot at keeping it sealed. So a lot of people say don't put RTV on it, but I don't think I have much of a choice. I think I'd rather have RTV in there than a groove with no chance at all. So that's how that's gonna go. All right, got the differentials all back together, all full of oil. And I also flushed it with diesel fuel and flushed the reservoir. So that's full, differential's full, hubs are full. Pressure washed the rest of the grease and nastiness off the back end. Should be the last time it sees water now until it's in the swamp. So looks like I must have fixed the leaks because I did fill the diffs all the way full and I don't see no drips. It's relatively dry, obviously I just washed it, but on the wheel seals, and the pinion isn't leaking either, dripping, and I rotated the wheels a bunch to pump fluid and I didn't see any leaks. And I also replaced them seals there and I don't see any leaks there as well, so that's good. Although I've not ran the pump at all, so there might not be any fluid there to leak after I removed them. So overall, that is good. We cleaned off the rest of this. This was completely covered in grease and oil up behind the winches and the top and in the box. I have to dry all that out, but so yeah, we're looking pretty sweet now. That was just a bunch of work that had to be done that I didn't want to do, but now I know it's done, I know it's good. So overall, pretty good. Let it all dry up as I finish working on these pieces over here. I got some lightweight to put on that. The seam sealer or epoxy is nice and hard, so I can smooth that out and hit it with some body filler. That should be good. Everything's looking all right. This stuff's freaking solid. I'm here to tell you I am the furthest thing from a body man. So we got something going on here. Just a good start. Get her sanded down and throw another layer on her. See how she goes. On another note, differential is not leaking. The floor is dried up and there is no drips. So that's good for now. Well, I'm gonna call her quits for the night. I think I'm gonna just getting counterproductive at this point. But we got a good start on her. It's coming out pretty nice, I think. Looking pretty good. Got some low spots here. But overall, it's gonna be good enough for what it is. But we're gonna get that low spot out. There's a low spot right here too. And then right there. But otherwise, we're getting there. Like I said, I'm getting a little counterproductive. I really haven't sanded too much on the ground, which is good. But yeah, we're done. Then we're not laying down anything nice. So now it's to the point of laying it down nice. So we're gonna come back tomorrow with a better pieces of cardboard and a better spatula, and we'll be good. So otherwise, it's looking pretty good though. Pretty hard to put steel to fiberglass efficiently, and I think we're doing a pretty good job at it. I think this one's pretty much done. It's not going to be totally flat because this thing is supposed to bow, but yeah, we'll see all the imperfections once we throw a little primer on it, and then we can adjust. But it's pretty good. Obviously not primer yet, we still got a lot more to do, but I was getting pretty counterproductive at this point. So on to tomorrow, let's see if we can't get some primer on these things. I just popped this panel on just to give it a nice look, and boy, she's turning out pretty dang good. I cannot really complain about that at all. Not bad at all. Hit her with some sandable primer. I think she'll be looking nice. Okay, I got some more progress going today. I had to pick up some more supplies. I think we're making progress. I actually have no idea what I'm doing, but we're doing it, so that's all that matters. But it's looking pretty good actually. I'm trying to block it out the best I can, but nothing is really flat. I mean, it looks flat, but it's not flat because it's curved, so I'm kind of just formally curving it flat, if that makes any sense. But it's gonna have some highs and lows in it, but I think she's gonna be pretty damn good. Good enough for what it is and good enough for who it's for. So as long as I'm happy with it, I guess that's all that really matters. And even if there's some spots, it's gonna get covered up with some graphics and stuff anyways. So I don't want it too nice because about the time I bash it through the trees and it rams through the hood, all that work for nothing. So here we go. Hopefully get some primer on this thing today. That would be nice. And then if there's any major imperfections, I can straighten it out after the primer. So, but I think it's gonna be pretty good. Okay, we got her in primer. Doesn't look perfect, but there's a few things we got to touch up with some sandpaper, but everything is in primer and it looks very nice, I think, for the circumstances and what I'm working with. You can see right there I need some stuff going on, but yeah, I think it turned out really, really good. The back side I'm going to back mask after I paint the red and bed line the whole inside and the back side of them, so it's all no overspray, so it looks nice. But I gotta paint the red first because it's hard to mask bed liner. So there's that. It probably won't be red for a while. I just wanted to get it in primer, so I feel like I made a little progress on some of the harder parts. But yeah, overall you can see light right there just needs some attention, but it's hard to see it if you don't have it in one color. So now that I got it in primer, I can do a little touch-up work and it should turn out very nicely. Same with these things down in the end here. Need a little bit, but overall, I'm happy with it. So more to come, but this is where I wanted to get